all my Hullamaniacs out there.
That's right, the votes are in on Facebook.
And Hullamaniacs is the winner for the new fan name.
So now that that's out of the way,
Welcome back, Hullamaniacs.
and for this episode, I thought we would do something a little fun. I've gotten lots of questions about like, what's your favorite Disney animated film? What's your second favorite animated film? People want to know what I think about Disney movies. And now that I want to start getting into film reviews and talking about film history and stuff, I thought today I would take some time out and talk about my
Top 5 favorite Disney animated films.
But before we start, there is a few legalities I need to point out. The following movies were selected from the list of 54 official Disney animated films. The list does not include films from studios acquired by Disney, which include but are not limited to Pixar, Disney Toons, Lucasfilms, Marvel, etc. Also, live-action films with some animation were not considered, as it must be at least 75% animated to be included. So no Mary Poppins or Roger Rabbit, so deal with it. Don't ask me where's Toy Story, where's Nightmare Before Christmas, because Disney didn't actually make the films. They were made by a different studio and Disney acquired the studio later. So yes, if you want to see what films were included on the list, there'll be a link in the description that'll go to the official list of 54 animated features.
With that being said, what are my top 5 favorite Disney animated films? Starting with number 5, The Little Mermaid.
The thing I really love about The Little Mermaid is the style of this film. Now, this is really interesting as far as the quote-unquote princess movies go, is because they didn't just stick to the regular Disney format with this. Yeah, they did as far as the actual story of Ariel, but even more than that, they took a step further and they said, you know what, we're gonna do the good storytelling everybody wants from Disney, but we're also gonna mix in all these visual elements that everyone has come to know and love from animation that we haven't really seen in Disney before. I'm talking specifically about the side characters. All of them do stuff that normal Disney animation never would have done. They do extreme squash and stretch. Sebastian drops his jaw all the way to the floor. Flounder, while he's telling a story, his face literally turns into Scuttle. There's this whole chase sequence with Sebastian and Louis the chef in the kitchen that just screams, oh, this is like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. And then of course we go into like Under the Sea where everything's so cartoony. It's fantastic. They did such a great job of blending this very cartoony animation with this very realistic animation with Ariel and Eric and her father, and really the two blended so well. I know a lot of people are gonna say, well, Aladdin did that with the genie. Kind of, but at the same time they didn't do it quite to this extreme. It's kind of like Aladdin was a typical Disney film per se, and then they threw the genie in there and everything was different. This is like they interwove the whole world with cartoon and realism, and sometimes you can't tell which is which I really enjoy. And even more than that, Jodie Benson is like my favorite voice actress. I could listen to her voice all day.
Go Jodie Benson! Number 4,
Fantasia. Now, I know, I'm a realist. I understand that most people are gonna think that Fantasia is really weird. Sometimes it's a little too artsy for people. Sometimes people just say it's really trippy. I understand. I get it. To me, it's just a fantastic film. And here's my reasons why. Fantasia does with art what everyone is supposed to be doing with art and just amplifies it and puts it on the screen. When art is created, the artist is trying to say something to the audience. Specifically in this case, I'm talking about the classical music that all of these came from, whether it be the Sorcerer's Apprentice movement, whether it be Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker, Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor, Stravinsky's Rite of Spring, all of these pieces, the composer had something to say, and they thought what they needed to say needed to be explained musically. Now, when you explain something with music, there's obviously a lot of ways you can interpret what they're saying. And that's the great thing about art. You give them enough to let them know kind of what you're talking about, and then they get to fill in the blanks and make the art mean something to them. That's what art is really all about. And Disney took that idea and ran with it. Igor Stravinsky's Rite of Spring, this is a perfect example. Stravinsky's Rite of Spring. He wrote this ballet in the early 1900s as a way to musically understand what early human culture was like. Disney took it a step further and said, yeah, this is about primitive life. We're gonna go a step further and make it the dinosaurs and show how it's like a pageantry of life on Earth. This is what got me started in classical music, was that this turned animation and music to me into more than just something to enjoy, but as an art form.
Number 3.
The Jungle Book. Now, The Jungle Book is really kind of a step back from Fantasia. Whereas Fantasia was, let's be all experimental and brand new, Jungle Book's like, let's go back and do what we always do, but we're gonna do things a little differently this time. The Jungle Book, what its real draw are its characters. The story plot's really simple. It can be summed up in a sentence. It's just,
the animals help Mowgli get to Man Village.
Walt intentionally went away from the book entirely because he saw these characters and said, I want Colonel Hattie to be a bumbling colonel from the army, because this was something that was very prevalent in that time. The Vultures are a spoof on the Beatles. Baloo is that guy that everybody knows who doesn't want to work, he doesn't really want responsibilities, but at the same time, love compels him to do things that he never thought he would do before. These characters are so developed, so defined, that they make this movie. This is really a testament of characters.
Number 2.
Dumbo!
Fly, Dumbo, fly!
Poor guy. Never stood a chance. Yes, Dumbo is number 2 on my list, and the main reason why is because Dumbo's storytelling is just some of the most concise and most perfect and just emotional driven stories that I personally have ever seen. As soon as Dumbo starts, these animators know exactly what it is. It's a cartoon in its feel and its tone and the way everything's put together. In between an actual elephant flying, the pink elephant sequence, it knows it's weird and it's crazy and it's zany, and it works at its advantage with its style of being more cartoonish. It really works it out with the tone and its whimsicalness, and at the same time, they can take everything that's that cartoony and then rip your heart out emotionally, and that takes skill. They treat everything like it's real. Like when they make Dumbo fly, they want you to really feel like an elephant's flying. When Dumbo's ripped from his mother, they want you to feel that emotional heartbreak that they have. Even though everything about it is not real, it feels real.
And finally, for my number 1 animated film of all time, The Lion King.
Nuts and Gunya! The reason why I loved all of these films that I talked about, they are all in this one, plus some. Just like The Little Mermaid, The Lion King is able to mix this cartoony style and very realistic style almost seamlessly. There's not many films that can jump from realistic animals to super cartoony in a matter of seconds and the audience be with them 100% of the time. And just like Fantasia, it takes what you think is just animals on a screen, it takes what you just think is a little bit of music, and it creates it into a whole new piece of art. Like anyone could just say, the animals went to Pride Rock and paid their respects to the new cub Simba. But then you put the circle of life over it. This no longer just becomes a bunch of random animals going to a big rock. It's a pageantry. It's a march. It's a beautiful parade heading off to pay tribute to the new king. And even more than that, when Simba is ascending Pride Rock near the end of the movie, it's just regal. It's this huge magical moment with Hans Zimmer's music and just the animation of all these amazing talented artists. It's just incredible. The characterizations that the Jungle Book had are even enhanced here in The Lion King. Everybody remembers these characters: Scar, Timon, Pumbaa, Simba, Nala, Rafiki. All of these are just unforgettable, amazing characters where the second they're on screen, you understand everything that they're about, but at the same time, they're new, they're fresh, and they'll never leave your mind. And just like in Dumbo, the emotional level that this film gets to, it's incredible. Anytime you watch the wildebeest sequence, gosh, if you don't even whimper at this, you have no soul. So these are my top 5 favorite Disney films, but I'm sure they're probably different from yours. So write below in the comment and tell me what your top 5 favorites are. Because, dang, Disney hasn't made many bad movies, so, hey, you can't really go wrong with them, right? So thank you so much for staying and enjoying. I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you later. Bye!